Well, Penny, thank you so much for the time, coming back on the show. How are you
Yeah,
feeling? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling exactly how you should feel leading up to a fight. My last week of hard training, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty rough right now, but I'm trying to get through it. So,
Your last fight, it was 2 weeks notice. This fight, you have a
hmm
full camp. So spirits must be much better, even though you are going through a pretty brutal camp.
yeah. So when I got called up to fight Julia in Vegas, basically it was 1 week because that other week went through
Yeah.
just cutting weight and get a visa. And people just don't think that is short distance. Like there's a long distance between the cities in Sweden, but I have almost 7 hours to Stockholm because I live in the south. So I had to like drive by myself, doing like weight cuts and shit to Stockholm to get a visa that may not be approved. Uh, so basically, I had 1 week to train, like fully train really hard, and then the other week was just like I'm training just to keep in shape. And luckily, I was already in good shape coming into that fight. So, but it was kind of a 50-50 chance. Either I win or you don't. You don't have that much stuff. You don't have time to do game planning and shit. You just go in there. That's it. And for this fight, yeah, I'm excited to have a fight camp, but it's still, you never know here either. You can have a full fight camp, but you can still look like shit, or you can have a really short camp and look good, and it could be the other way around as well. So it's all depending on that night.
Before we get more into the fighting, I noticed that you've been doing some commentating work. Tell me
Yeah,
about
I
that.
have. So it was pretty funny because I just got let go from the UFC 2 days after my finale fight. I was pretty bummed. I was pretty sad for a while, and then I decided that I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna fight again here in Sweden, and if I love it as much, I will continue fighting because I was debating on not fighting anymore. And I still loved it. So, and I was enjoying the whole process of being in a camp and everything. So after that, I heard that they're coming to Sweden, and of course, I was pretty bummed that I wasn't on the Sweden card because I thought I gotta win now, but no, I'm not. And then I got a call to actually commentate for UC Sweden, just because the girl fight was the two girls I already fought against, Tanya and Lena, and I was still pretty pissed. I was like, I don't want to fucking commentate. I want to fight. But then I was like, you know what? I don't mind getting a bit spotlight because I think I deserve it. So I headed over there, and that was actually a start of a good journey because I've been working for them again for UFC Copenhagen and for just like the shows for Cage Warriors and commentating One FC and stuff. So it was the beginning of something good anyway.
Yeah, it's great to see that you're getting more FaceTime and getting a lot extra work on the side with the UFC and other promotions. How is it sitting
Yeah.
down and watching all these other promotions and the fighters in other countries? Are you normally a person that watches fights, or is this like something that has broadened your view of the fight world?
No, I watch fights. I don't only watch UFC. I mean, I come from background. I've fought in Invicta and Cage Warriors and all those shows, so I love watching Cage Warriors. I think they're super professional, and it was Invicta and Cage Warriors was one of the best shows I ever fought for, before the UFC, of course. So I watch all those small shows that are not really that small, but the European shows. I like watching those, and of course, like Asian promotions as well. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, watching and commentating, it's pretty cool being an expert commentator because you get to do a bit of coach work, because when you commentate, you're like, oh, he should do this, he should do that, you know? So you don't really need to study anything. It's just that you just commentating shit that's going on. So it's pretty cool.
Do you have to kind of hold yourself back from cursing sometimes, you know, because you have to watch yourself, right?
Especially when you do like the commentating for the UFC, of course.
Yeah.
I have to like behave. I have to sit up straight and everything. So that's the hardest part. And my first time, it was really weird because they told me it was an old fighting buddy that was commenting with me, an old UC fighter as well. He was like, "Don't curse. The first thing you don't do, you don't curse." And the first sentence I said, I cursed, and I was like, and you know, it's live.
Yeah.
So it's no redos and everything, but you know, they really help you out when you have the mics on. It's not just to look cool. They actually say stuff to you that you can use. But the second time we actually got a lot of good response from UC and everything for commentating. Because we were working with the Norwegian team and the Danish team doing it. So it was good. It was pretty cool.
Well, let's get into your fight. You know, it's a 4-month turnaround. It's pretty quick. Did it give you any time to focus on any aspect of your game coming out of that Julia Avila fight?
Yeah, definitely. You know, a lot of people thought I was going to be in a Copenhagen card because, you know, I'm fighting out of Copenhagen. But I wanted to fight, but I still didn't because I really want time to get better, especially coming off a loss. I know that, you know, people are like, yeah, you jumped in short notice, who cares? But, you know, it's still a loss, and I don't want that. And I don't want to lose back to back. I don't do that. I don't want to do that again. Definitely don't want to do that in a bigger stage that I'm in right now. So I wanted to give myself time and come back to my strength and conditioning and really come into the shape that I am. I'm always in shape, but I want to look exceptional in this fight, and this fight is really close to my heart. You know, it's a rematch, and I don't even think about, you know, that I already beat her. For me, that's not existing. You know, for me, it's only this fight and it's only this win, and you know, I eat, sleep, and breathe this fight, and you know, I think about her every day. I do, not to sound creepy or anything, but you know, fighting wise. And so it's really important for me to take that little time, just those months. It was really important for me to get back to my you know, my schedule and everything, and feel that I've done everything that I can. You know, I've done everything. I've suffered so much in this camp, but I know it's all worth it.
Have you always had that attitude? It's like fight by fight, or is this something new to you, like focusing on just fight? Because, you know, a lot of fighters, they kind of look ahead, you know what I mean? Like they look like, okay, next year I'm going to be here. Did you always do that?
Yeah, I can't look ahead. You never know what's going to happen. You know, like imagine having like, okay, so when I suffered my first loss against Tanya Evinger, imagine looking past her. Wow, no, I don't want to do that. Imagine like me coming back from my comeback and I was going to fight Raquel Paului. I couldn't look past that either. I just, you can't do that. And I think that's really stupid doing that. To think that, okay, so after this, I want to do this. And like, yeah, well, first of all, like if my opponent would think like that, I would actually be happy because she doesn't know what's going to happen, you know? She doesn't know what I'm going to do to her. And if she wanted to think about the next fight, go ahead. No problem. But I'm not. I'm taking her really seriously. And I'm expecting the best ever Jessie to come into that fight. So
when you look at Jessie, you know, she's been out for 17 months now. Do you go back and look at her previous fights, or do you feel like those fights are irrelevant? Like it doesn't matter?
Like the only fight that is relevant is her last fight. That's it. You know, I don't even look at our fight. I don't, because that's not relevant anymore. I'm better. She's better. I'm much better. So I don't really think about that. I looked at her last fight, but I did that once, but that's it. You know, and yeah, she's coming off an injury, but I don't think it's, you know, it's not that long of a time, that long time. You know, how many months? Is it 18 months? Or is it,
Yeah,
how
17
long is
months, something like that.
17 months? Yeah, I've been out exactly the same before, and I didn't feel that, it was, oh wow, this is such a long time that she's rusty or anything. But I'm expecting her to be 100% better. That's what I'm expecting. I don't want any surprises. I don't want to be surprised coming in there and like, oh shit, I didn't expect this. I'm not doing that. So I don't see it as an advantage for me. I'm just trying to see everything. I'm not trying. I'm not underestimating anybody. I never done that either, so I'm not really comfortable with that feeling. So
When you expect the best version of your opponent and you go in there and you dominate your opponent, does the victory seem so much sweeter that that you got the best out of them and you
yeah,
still
of
beat them?
course. Yeah, of course, because my training partners are preparing me for war. And if I'm going to get beat up anywhere, I'm getting beat up in training. That's it. Because, I have a saying. I want to fight as much as possible. I want to make a lot of fucking money without taking that much damage. That's it. You want to do what you love, but I don't want to look like shit every time.
Mm-hmm.
You just because you're a fighter doesn't mean that you have to take a lot of damage. If I can avoid damage, of course. It's hit and not get hit. I'm trying to. Sometimes you have to go into battle. Sometimes, but if she wants a battle, I'm here for it. So
When you visualize it, what do you see?
I see her being aggressive. I see Jessie as a really well-rounded fighter. I don't see her as one-dimensional. I see her being good everywhere. And that's why it's so important for me to be really good everywhere. And wherever I see it going, I see myself one step ahead. One step ahead, all time. I don't see myself being like so dominant. I don't, that it's ridiculous. I'm seeing it as an even battle, but I'm always one step ahead. That's how I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing like 3 rounds in front of me. Because it's really hard to speculate. Oh, I'm gonna get this knockout. I'm gonna get this stuff. That's not realistic. You have to think that it's 3 rounds and and it's even, but I have the upper hand. I have the upper hand because I'm so well aware of, all the scenarios she can put in front of me. It could be different. She's really she's really like unexpected, and she does really, you don't see that stuff that she's doing. Like it was like when I fought her the first time, she attacks from everywhere, and I have to be ready for that.
I want to get your, thoughts on another fight, which is
Yeah.
coming up in December, UFC 245, Amanda Nunes versus GDR, for the bantamweight title.
Wow.
Do you see GDR, because she's such a phenomenal striker, technician, being able to go in there and catch Amanda and finish her?
I think people are looking past Germaine. I think I love Amanda. She's one of my favorite fighters. But Germaine she's a monster. And ever since, her last loss was against Amanda. And she actually took a year off just working on ground game and stuff, which I've heard, and she came back looking so much better. And I think her striking, there's a reason why she's 47-0 in K1 and Thai. There's just no coincidence that she is that way. She is ranked one of the best kickboxers in the world. I'm actually getting chills just talking about that fight. I think that fight is so awesome.
Yeah,
I think she is a huge threat to Amanda Nunes.
Mm-hmm.
Even I think 100% she's a bigger threat than Holly Holm was. I just think that people really wanted Holly to win. You know what I mean? They just really wanted her to win. She looks like, a cute chap or something like that. But I love this fight. And I think people have been really harsh against Germaine ever since the Holly fight. They kind of blame her for the ref not doing his job. And then for the ref again, against Aspen Ladd, which I don't even think that was an early stoppage, but whatever. But she gets so much hate. And yeah, it's unbelievable. But I'm really looking for that fight. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even
Mhm.
gonna say. So, uh,
Well, Jermaine, she gets her chance in this fight to quiet everybody
yeah,
with the phenomenal performance. So I'm looking forward to this too. I think that people are underestimating GDR. I think that she has a huge chance of upsetting Amanda. I'm looking
yeah,
forward. One last thing before I let you go,
yeah.
right now, you've had many fights throughout your career. There's many different types of competitors in mixed martial arts. Do you consider yourself at this moment in your career more of a martial artist or a prize fighter?
What's a prize fighter? Just explain it to me, just like briefly.
Prize
Just
fighter is someone who fights for money. That's
oh
their
no, I'm not there
main
yet.
objective.
Okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not making that much money yet at all. You probably know the first contract you
Yeah.
get, it's not, it's not wow, it's not that much money. So I would say I'm a mixed martial artist. Like honestly, if somehow the UFC would come and say, "Shit, we bankrupt. We don't have any money to pay you guys. Fuck it, I'm gonna fight anyway." I would do that, 100%. That doesn't mean that they could take away my salary. I'm just saying that. But yeah, that makes me a martial artist, 100%.
All right. Well, November 9th, UFC on ESPN Plus 21. It's going to be
Yeah.
a big fight in Moscow. I'm looking forward to this. This is a great matchup, great matchmaking. Thank you, Pannie, for the time, and good
Thank you
luck on the
so
fight.
much.
And enjoy
Thank.
the holidays.
I will. Thank you. Bye.